we go. And then we begin. Are we ready for this? Are you all ready for this? I don't know if I'm ready for this. I just don't know. Here we go. We're gonna start the timer. Monsieur Phileas Fogg returned home early from the Reform Club, and in a newfangled steam carriage besides. I helped him down, and the iron-lunged, steam-driven horses clattered away. Passepartout, he said. We are going around the world. Passepartout. Okay, I don't know. Around the world, monsieur? Yes, very good. I murmured dutifully, not believing a word of it. We shall circumnavigate the globe within 80 days. He was quite calm as he proposed his wild scheme. We leave for Paris on the 8:25 in an hour. But of course. That was quite but of course. Oh, I have options now. But of course, I answered, still extremely suspicious. He nodded. Good. Pack an altimeter and my evening jacket. There is not a moment to waste. We now have funds. And our character is now dependable. Okay, now we click the pack button. Okay, so we have options on what we can pack. We have a European shipping timetable. What's this? Oh, look, our time is going by. Let's take that. Sure, why not? That's some playing cards. Yeah, we need some of those. Of course, we need an evening jacket. Oh no, we need an altimeter. We definitely need an altimeter. We can't leave that behind. Ooh, this wax cylinder. We can't get. I don't know. I feel like we can take that. But it could get us money. Let's. Let's take that instead. I feel like this could be folded up, but whatever. Okay, good. Okay, because we took that thing, we found new routes. Look at all these routes we found because we got that. We brought that shipping thing. Okay, now we're gonna depart, and we're going to Paris. Departing now, the guard's van has space for one suitcase, which will suffice. Travel. This looks like a bearable option. Let's go. Here we go. The mechanical horses raced past Piccadilly Circus and Pall Mall faster than a team of thoroughbreds. Even so, the whistle of the 8:25 was blowing as we pulled into the Charing Cross station. We have no tickets, I exclaimed. We raced along the concourse and threw ourselves aboard. We have no tickets, I exclaimed. That does not signify, Monsieur Fogg remarked, over his shoulder as he hurried toward the platform. We must not miss this train. But I dashed to the ticket booth. I rushed after him and we leapt aboard just As another train whistle pierced the air, a guard raised his thick brow at us, and we settled into the nearby compartment. He held out a hand. "Tickets, please." I pretend to have lost them, patting down one pocket and then the other, and was about to start digging through our suitcases when Fogg interrupted my touching performance. "My valet is trying to express that we were in too much haste to purchase tickets." He said, no doubt intending to chasten me, which was not at all my meaning. And I tried to alter mine to fit his interpretation. I had mixed success, but I did locate 2 5-pound notes under one of the seat cushions when I began using it for a shield. "You may purchase them from me," the guard was saying, "though it is expensive, I'm afraid." 85 pounds, please." I handed over 85 pounds. Okay. And smiled a thin smile from one working man to another. The guard gave me our tickets and slid the compartment door shut behind him with a pneumatic hiss. "Your funds have gone down somewhat. We still have a lot of money. Look at all that money. We started with 4,000 pounds. That's a lot of pounds." "I am on fine form, but we must make haste." "Haste? You seem quite a handy man to have around." London's smog gave way to rolling hills and the pastures of the Kentish countryside, still untouched by the hand of technological advancement. Monsieur Fogg read his paper, whilst I repacked our bags, thrown together in haste and confusion, as afternoon turned inexorably to evening. I discovered that my master was one of those gentlemen who broke their silence rarely, if at all. A guard rapped on our door a few miles before Dover. "We are about to submerge," he warned. Takes some people a bit funny, so watch out." "Very good," I replied, as though submerging inside a 1,000-ton metal train was quite ordinary for me. "If you feel claustrophobic," the guard replied, "try running up and down the corridor. I always find the exercise helps." With that, he closed the door. Would Mr. Fogg be claustrophobic? I doubted it. He appeared to be constrained by mere matters of place and circumstance. An alarm sounded as the fins above the amphitrite's wheels extended with a hydraulic hiss. Night fell, and we plunged past the end of the track and into the freezing water of the English Channel. Okay, so apparently these things can go underwater. It's like a submarine train thing. The amphitrite plowed through the water overnight and splashed up into the wider gauge French tracks at Calais as dawn broke. "Do you have a route in mind, monsieur?" I demanded to know the purpose of our journey. I began to consider what we might require for our journey. That sounds like a good thing. Loose clothing for hot weather, and furs for cold, driving clothes for roads, and weatherproof gear for boats. Will we venture north or south? Well, we would have to purchase the necessary items in the markets of the cities we passed through. I grew a little melancholy at the thought. No doubt, whatever we acquired, I would have to carry. We arrived at Paris Gare du Nord just after 1 o'clock. Automation porters lifted our luggage and then our persons into the platform with long, delicately filigreed iron arms. Paris, city of my heart. I was home, but not to stay. Hey, Mizunaga, how's it going? I don't know, it doesn't look like we're there yet. There we go. Some of our possessions will sell efficiently here. We will have to explore Paris to find an onward journey. Okay, so we can go to the bank, which costs us 2 hours. We can explore, which would cost us 4 hours. Or we can go to the market, which it apparently doesn't cost us any time. Let's explore. Okay, there we go. We had a few hours to spare. I asked Monsieur Fogg if I might enjoy my city before we had to leave. Indeed, and should you learn anything of note, be sure to relay it. But do not waste any time. We have no time to spare. Why the hurry? I nodded and headed into town. The talk on the streets was of one thing only, an enormous, elegant oval stadium constructed upon the green fields of Champ de Mars and containing the technological marvels, art, amusement parks, and milling crowds of the World's Fair of 1872. I ventured inside. I got an achievement. Yay. I ventured inside the grand illuminated pavilions of the exposition. An artificer was replacing an arc light, which had burned out. He first disconnected the strange machine powering the lights. It had a spinning iron wheel, which was wound around a series of armature coils. What is that device, Artificer? I asked politely, an eye strained to the copper lily pin, which proclaimed her profession. It's a bleeding nuisance, is what it is, the Artificer grumbled in a thick Yorkshire accent. These Graham machines are finicky beasts. Graham machines? Well, that's, oh, never mind. She waved my question away. It's a steam engine, all right, only it doesn't make steam. Will that do? I hate explaining this stuff to laymen. I retreated hastily. Not at all in terror of her irate tone, merely aware of her delights and wonders. There were delights and wonders aplenty, well away from annoyed Yorkshire-bred artificers. Avenues sprawled in every direction between the inviting illuminated pavilions of the exposition. Notice time has stopped. Whoops! What just happened? What did I do? Okay, something happened, and I don't know what it was. What did I just do? Okay, I don't know what I did. I headed towards the red tents. I took a stroll down the evening. Let's head west towards the airstrip hangar. I went towards the airstrip hangar past a booth with a husband and wife pair selling panoramic hot air balloon rides to eager tourists. It's an early electric generator. Interesting. I inquired about their hourly rate. The hangar was crowded with airships and flying balloons and flying vehicles of all shapes and sizes, attended by sharp-eyed crews from all over the world, and my eye was immediately caught by a gyrocopter. Sounds interesting. The twin-bladed Peruvian gyrocopter, which looked tiny and flimsy in comparison with the airships surrounding it. They say the Incas invented the first gyrocopter, boasted the dark-haired pilot, pushing up her goggles to give me a wink. As their heirs, we Peruvians have made some few improvements. You do not see many Peruvian gyrocopters in the air, I remarked. Are they unsafe? The lady shook her head. No, they are quite safe, but they are quite hard to build. Perhaps one day soon, Monsieur Fogg and I would find ourselves flying in such a craft. I returned to the exposition center, my thoughts turning with the clouds and engine rotors. Crowds of tourists jostled and heaved past, their eyes wide with wonder. Well, I'll head toward the purple. I'll head toward the purple and red tents of the Artificers Guild, draped with banners and blazoned with copper lily sigil. The steam-powered automaton orchestra played gleaming brass instruments. I had the most incredible display of machines, as though a scrapyard had been brought to playful life. One of the artificers had his hands deep inside a human-shaped automaton, rummaging through its clockwork innards. He took out a piece of engraved glass and peered at it with a jeweler's loupe. "Dashing the thing," he cursed in upper-class English tones, and then looked up. "Oh, hello." I didn't mean to interrupt." "Nonsense, young man." He waved the glass shard dismissively. "I'm trying to build an automaton that can cook, you see, but it's not going well." He looked mournfully. "This one cannot even fry a chip." "How long have you been trying?" It's been a dream of mine ever since I was a young lad at boarding school. It's why I became an artificer." The wistful tone dropped into horror. "The things old Mrs. Parsons would do to a cabbage. The tender stomachs of Britain's youth would be much safer in mechanical hands." "Do you cook yourself?" "Not a jot," the artificer replied cheerfully, and then stroked his mustache. "Do you suppose that's the fly in the ointment?" He thumped me on the back. "Good thought, old chap. Perhaps I'll go find myself a cook to model my automaton upon." I wished him well in his culinary endeavors. He was, at least, in the right city to find a cook, and returned to the center of the exposition, ears ringing with the bombastic tunes of the steam orchestra. My feet were growing tired, and the hour was growing late. I returned to Monsieur Fogg, who was eating a meal of plain boiled beef. A la Anzia. I don't know how to pronounce that. "Do you enjoy the exposition?" my master inquired, as though I had been out visiting an aged great aunt. Having preferred a hearty meal, and I nodded. "Nothing else would possibly impress me now. We are unspeakably lucky to live in such an age of invention." "It will certainly make it easier to win my wager," Monsieur Fogg replied. "Wager? Indeed, I have staked a large sum that we will circumnavigate the globe in 80 days or less." Remarkable. Okay. So we can go to a hotel. We can go to a market. Let's go to the market. See what we got here. I think we should buy an extra suitcase for sure. What's this? Geometry equipment. What's this? Set of geometry drawing tools precisely made and beautifully presented. £6. That seems like a good deal. Some wine for £32. A shaving kit. A traveling cloak. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. We'll buy that. Buy a shaving kit. Heck, well, let's just buy everything. Why not? Let's just buy all the stuff. And then let's go to the let's plan. Where are we gonna go? Let's go to Vienna. Yeah, let's go to Vienna. It's more expensive, but that's probably the better way to go. The Orient Express departs for Vienna in 2 days. Yeah, let's do that. The traveling cloak from our Gentleman Traveler set should spur them on. A little encouragement is required. Okay. Okay. I'm good with this. How do I say okay? I'm not sure how to say okay to this. It appears we cannot go this way. Why the heck not? I'm confused right now. I don't quite understand what the problem is. To take this journey, we will have to spend the night. Oh, we have to wait until tomorrow? Is that the problem? We can't do this today? Okay, that makes sense. Okay. We have to spend the night. All right, that's the deal. We took a hotel for the night. We will be comfortable here, Mr. Fogg remarked, but traveling overnight will often be more efficient. So we must board the longest journeys available. Perhaps, he said, the short answer indicating, I think that one day journeys might often be more flexible in their timing and could allow for more connections. Still, the surrounds of the Hotel Ritz were most enjoyable. Okay, let's depart now. All right, now we can do this one, right? Yeah, we can do this one. Embark. All right, we get an embark button. Oh, okay. And we're gonna hire space for 50. Okay, I'm seeing the problem with having multiple suitcases. Boarding the Orient Express was an altogether calmer affair than our race through London had been. Mechanical porters loaded us in through the windows, then snapped them shut with a delicate click. The train is very beautiful. The train was extremely fast. The train would be the first leg of a much longer journey. There's little use in growing too comfortable. Indeed, it could only take us as far as Vienna. At last, long whistle blew, and we began our journey east. Let's converse. Greetings, monsieur. Can I help you at all, monsieur? I am the guard in this train. The Austro-Hungarian Empire has been growing in strength. Okay. Is it possible to go to Vienna? To Venice? I believe so. I'd like to travel by private car from Vienna to Venice, but the journey is a tiring one. Tiring doesn't sound good. We're about to Belgrade. Excuse me, I must go now. Okay. Alright. Okay, we can get various routes. Alright. Okay, I see. By talking to people, we can get new routes. So one of our jobs is to discover new routes, so that we know that routes exist. I feel like we should be able to do this from like a transit station, but maybe that's wishful thinking. My master wished me to be undisturbed as we left Paris. I barred our compartment door. I left him and went to explore the train. There was a delightful dining car and an observation deck formed by the replacement of an entire compartment with an open glass cube. I stopped there, watching the scenery flash past. I attended the dining car. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. And found a few groups of people talking quietly. I sat with a young composer, heading to Vienna for a concert by the great steam orchestra there. But he spoke of little but melody, harmony, and the progression of chords. I had an interest in music, but not an understanding, and so most of his words were lost on me. More interesting, however, were his remarks upon the political situation there. My uncle warned me not to play an instrument myself while within the city walls. It is apparently forbidden. But why? He shook his head, then smiled, and a quick smile. Perhaps they are tired of foreign musicians showing up to their own showing up their own great composers. He let out a short. He left a short while later, following a pair of chattering Parisian ladies to the observation deck to watch the stars come out. I returned to Monsieur Fogg, who, to my surprise, looked up from his paper at me. "What did you learn?" I told him of the dining car, and he looked smartly aside, clearly unimpressed. "Your relationship with Fogg has deteriorated slightly." Okay. Sounds good. We arrived at Vienna in an early hours of morning. The custom officials insisted on searching our bags for, of all things, artificing tools. I queried the official. Foreigners are forbidden from making automata within the borders of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, he repeated with bored expression. But I was hardly an artificer, and so it mattered little. The sun rose in the sky as we left the station, illuminating the wide, tree-lined avenues of Vienna in pale, welcoming light. So yeah, we have to go all the way around the world. I don't think we can just go to the North Pole and walk around it. I don't think we can do that. I think we need to explore. Yeah, let's do some exploring again. I think that's a good idea. Okay, that gives us some new travel options. You do not see a single flesh and blood soldier in Vienna, the city of music. My dear friends, the rumors are quite real. The Austro-Hungarian Empire's might is built upon its armies of mechanical men. Very true. They are a magnificent sight, ranged in gleaming rows along the wide Parisian-style boulevards. Their enamel uniforms shined to a polish. As I watched, I was approached by a bookish fellow who hurried out from under the impressive eagle-arched portcullis of the Zughaus, the imperial armory. "You think them fantastical?" he demanded, a curious tone to his voice. "Glorious," I replied, "beautifully crafted. They are more impressive than you could imagine." He stuck out his hand. "Herr Danzer, apprentice engineer of the imperial Kriegsorchester." That's like Worcestershire. We went to the cafe to talk. And once he started, he would not stop. "Have you noticed none of the mechanical soldiers carry weapons?" he hissed. "What do you make of that?" "They're strong, I suppose," I replied, disliking the time of conversation. "Inside each of the Mozart Haydn device, perfectly tuned." Herr Danzer replied, The song the soldiers sing is one of devastation. A battalion in harmony can punch through a steel wall." He drew a gilded flute from his scabbard and laid it on the table, looking at it thoughtfully. "That flute is how you control them?" I hazarded. He nodded sadly. "Yes. We, the Mukshad Solitan, control them with our instruments. I am the finest flautist at the Vienna Colonial. He began to my horror to weep. "I stole the flute." Yeah, let's do that. "I stole the flute. It was a moment's impulse," and he was distracted. It was a beautiful thing. Gilded and smoothly polished, I tucked the flute away quickly. "As a boy, I dreamed of joining the Artificers Guild," he confessed, voice hushed. "But for someone born in this country, it is impossible. The Kaiser and the Guild are sworn enemies." The guild, I reminded him, are politically neutral. He shook his head. The guild are forbidden within the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Our automata are not guild approved. They are our own. His mouth was a cold line. The guild would not countenance building such monsters. Thanking him for the coffee, I strolled back along the avenues, examining my stolen flute in the waning light. Under its gilded and manicured beauty lurked something sharper and more bloodthirsty. It was contradictory as Vienna was itself, at once the city of music and the city of war. Relations with Fogg have deteriorated slightly. Why? And my character is now zestful. Okay. Alright. What do we want to do? Let's go to the market again. Maybe we can sell. Can we sell stuff? We can sell that. What's the... Oh, that's the flute we stole. We got a monkey wrench. A heavy wrench good for most difficult bolts. A music box. Oh, some of these are worth a lot of money in a specific city. Okay. So if we go to Berlin with this one, we can sell it for a shoot ton of money. I'm going to buy a pressure gauge. That seems like a good idea. A wind scarf? Sure. We'll buy that too. We're just gonna buy stuff. We're going to sell that. Okay. The wine over here. Alright, we're good here. I think we're good here. And now we're going to depart. We're going to check out the... we're going to check where we can go. Can we go here? It departs in 2 days. Oof. I think this departure could be altered. The traveling cloak from our gentleman traveler sent should spar them on. So for $120 we can get it to depart tomorrow. So we can encourage them to depart faster. Let's zoom out here. See what we got. Yeah, let's do it. Just gonna depart tomorrow. Okay. Cool. No, I didn't mean to do that. Ah. I'm accidentally making time move faster. That's not good. Although we still just want to go to the hotel, so. We found a room in the newly opened Hotel Imperial, in a suite built for Duke Philip of Württemberg's maidservant. The view along the Ringstrasse was impressive. When Monsieur Fogg settled, I hurried out to catch the steam orchestra performance. The view was impressive, and as I looked, I saw lines and lines of mechanical soldiers marching along the road. The people of the city were moving quickly out of their path, as though these automata could not be trusted. I closed the shutters to block the sound of the marching feet and pulled down the blind. Monsieur Fogg seemed quite untroubled by it all. I checked the pocketbook. I think, however, even he does not relish the idea of bloodless armies. I was determined to find their purpose. I hurried down to the street level, and the musician at the back of the procession caught my eye. I begged him over. "What is this procession?" I demanded. "War is coming. We must prepare our borders. We are taking the train to Belgrade. Now, get going before the soldiers see you." The threat was clear. I ran down a side alley, over a wall, and then limped my way back to the hotel. And Monsieur Fogg, to whom I explained that a train was leaving to Belgrade. He nodded thoughtfully. That could be the most interesting forward step in our journey, he remarked. High praise indeed. That is interesting. Yeah, we're going there. Minus 6 heart. So we lose 6 hearts for that. Uncomfortable conditions. Oh, the traveling cloak gives us a bonus of 5. So we would only lose 1 heart. So let's do it. We're going on the military transport. We approach the train station with our bags as boldly as possible, intending to brazen out our presence by means of what my master referred to as his universal passport, by which he did not mean my good self. It was a mad plan, of course. We were stopped by the very first barrier by a guard wielding a gilded flute, just like mine. This platform is closed. You are lost. I produced my flute by way of a ticket. You are to let us board the train. The soldier looked surprised. There are no passengers aboard the train. Nothing but freight. We know all about your freight. The soldier hesitated. Can you play that flute? He asked. Traveling with the soldiers, it is not safe. I can, I assured him, and he nodded. Very well, then. I, for one, will be glad to know there is at least one soul aboard. Now hurry up before someone sees. With that, he stood aside, and he clambered up into the train. There was plenty of space. The mechanical soldiers were stacked in the corridors, but the compartments were all empty. We chose one just as the whistle blew. And we headed off, bound for Belgrade. Okay, well, there we go. We're basically the only people on board. So all else on board is mechanical soldiers. This was definitely a risky path. But what could possibly go wrong? Let's converse. The only person I can converse with is Monsieur Fogg. I'm a roaring help, but we make haste. Very good. Yeah, that's literally all I can. That's the only person here. It may be hard to believe, but the journey was uneventful. There was, after all, no one else aboard the train. I briefly looked into the corridor, but was unable to find the courage to stay long. Mechanical men lay piled to the ceiling, and they jostled and rolled as the train clattered along. Eyelids flickered, hands twitched. I dashed back inside the compartment. Do you really believe we are the only people aboard? I demanded of Mr. Fogg. He looked up thoughtfully. There must be a driver, I suppose, unless the whole train is automatic. He seemed rather pleased with the idea. As was I. How grand! Hey, Craigery. I mean, yeah, we're trying to get around the world in 80 days. We're at Belgrade. We kind of took a weird path. Well, where are we? We can go to Istanbul, which departs tomorrow. I guess that's the only place we can go. It departs tomorrow at 9 a.m. All right. I guess we'll get a hotel. When our train traveled at Belgrade, no one came to meet it. I stopped and sat there, cooling down into the still night air. We slipped out or we slept aboard. We could sleep aboard the train. That seems like a bad idea. We slept aboard. What the hell? Since it seemed like the wisest thing to do. Outside the window, nothing in the city stirred. Everything was dark and unnaturally still. Even my master seemed to sense something amiss. What happened here, monsieur? I asked. I believe the Austro-Hungarians did, he said. But I know no weapon which destroys only people and leaves building intact. I cannot say either of us slept well that night. Ooh, we can explore, or we can depart. I'd say we just depart. Exploring seems like a bad idea. Yeah, we have a lot of money. We're basically exploring cities, talking to people, spending money, buying supplies, and in some cases taking significant risks to get around the world as quickly as possible. So our cloak, again, will allow us to not lose things. Oh look, we have a time limit. The compartment has space for 4 suitcases, which is enough. Okay, we're gonna continue taking the military train. Basically, and it's free. It doesn't cost us anything. So we're saving tons of cash right now. We're kind of a stowaway on this train because you stole a flute. I think that's kind of funny. We were woken with a jolt the next morning. The train had begun to move. We were setting off with our horribly silent cargo for the next, more dangerous leg of the journey, the trip to Istanbul. We can read the newspaper. Oh, I didn't realize that. Paris World Fair, a roaring success. And here we go to Istanbul. There was still no one else aboard. We could do nothing to pass the time. We went to investigate the soldiers. We speculated on who would be waiting for us at the other end. It was surely unlikely that we would travel right into the heart of Istanbul, even if we were just using the lines built for the Orient Express. It must rather be a secret depot where the soldiers were being stockpiled. It quickly became clear we had no way of knowing whither we were bound. With only the overheard rumor and gossip from Vienna to provide us with clues. The day wore on, and night fell, and the glittering ribbon of the Bosphorus moved into view. Bosphorus moved into view. We approached Circasi station, and then we passed it by. Finally, we came to a halt in a dark and gloomy warehouse. We waited to see what would happen next, and finally, the doors of the warehouse opened. A few figures entered, carrying lamps. They began to look through the train. Should we hide, or should we say, hey, we were in here? Yeah, I know. It was Istanbul or Constantinople. I don't know. I think we should hide. We hid from sight as best we could. After a few minutes, the figures seemed to have satisfied themselves with the cargo and were heading for the door once again, muttering in low voices. Should we wait for them to leave, or should we follow them? I think we should wait for them to leave. We waited for them to leave and then made our way to the door. It was locked, of course. We had no choice but to wait for the mysterious figure. Attempt to break the lock. Sure, why not? Attempt to break the lock, which, after a few hours of creative vandalism, we succeeded in doing. And we stepped out, blinking, into the bustling streets of Istanbul. A sight of unexpected poignancy after the desolation of Belgrade. Okay, so we're there. We made it. We lost one heart. I think we can complete our dusty road gear here for protection against dust and fumes. Okay, well, we probably should do that. We will want to sleep here and explore in the morning. All right, let's do that. I awoke in the morning in the silks of an Ottoman harem girl. Worse yet, I was in the forbidden women's apartments of Tepak Place. I had no memory of the previous night. It came back to me all too clearly, I shuddered. Noisy Armenian tavern, many cups of raki, the unexpectedly potent local liquor, a smiling Greek merchant telling me of the incomparable mosaics of the harem of Topkapi Palace, home of the wives of coal-eyed concubines of the Sultan. But men are forbidden in the harem, he warned, on pain of death. He lured me into a wager which I had not the good sense to refuse. Curse my weakness for a fine mosaic. I bartered for a costume, reasoned that I would disguise myself as a repairwoman. Sure, why not? And stride right through the front doors of the palace. I claimed I had been summoned to see a faulty steam valve in one of the harem's many ornate luxury baths. A faulty water boiler used for serving tea, and was let in with minimal fuss. It seems that even sultans and their wives are servants to the vagaries of plumbing. I was unable to escape the same way, however. A lady blocked my path, demanding my costume in return for hers. Madam, I will be killed if I am found here. I protested. Better hurry up then, she replied. We are both getting out of here now. I did exactly as she told me to do. Soon she was the repair woman, while I was a lady the guards did not recognize or care about, and together we walked out through the front door. My new friend thanked me as I thanked her. Then she disappeared into the streets. I found Monsieur Fogg reading a newspaper back at our lodgings. He looked up and blushed, a most violent shade of red, as he took in my attire, setting his cup down with uncharacteristic force. And yet somehow the matter quietly dropped. Sometimes, I confess, I do admire the English. Okay, let's explore. No, wait. Yeah, let's explore. And then we can go to the market. Let's explore. I think we should explore. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, man. There's some good paths there. I found myself in the historic quarter of Sultanahim in the shadow of the glorious minarets. I don't like when they use these words, because minarets of the blue mosaic. I had some hours before I had to return to Monsieur Fogg. I do not speak French, and I do not speak English very well either. So I had some hours before I had to return to Monsieur Fogg, and I was finding myself attracting some entertaining attention in my flashing silks. I made my way to the Grand Bazaar, a covered market holding thousands upon thousands of stalls divided into streets of vendors selling everything from Turkish leather slippers, to dried fruits and nuts stacked in precarious pyramids. The vendors called out in every language known to man, and I'd wager some entirely invented. Should I press into it or should I skirt the edge? We'll skirt the edge of it, only to encounter a yet more busy group. A mob was gathering on a street corner. We are protesting against the Sultan's so-called modernization, a young medical student told me breathlessly. A dangerous pastime, a worthy cause, I declared. Indeed! What are modern institutions without liberty? The time of absolute monarchy is over, sister. I pulled my veil ever more securely around my face as the crowd surged forward, shouting slogans in Arabic and English, and even some well-worn phrases stolen directly from the French Revolution. I spotted an empty side street and took my chance. Ducking in, I waited till the crowd passed, and I was soon not alone. The student had followed my lead. You should be protesting, I protested, somewhat alarmed at the situation I now found myself in. Let me tell you about this protest. Come with me. I let him lead the way. Okay, sure, why not? And soon enough, we were sitting at a nearby cafe, thronged with young, modern-minded men and women, sipping coffee and discussing politics. I was still wearing silks, so I performed a complex negotiation between veil and coffee cups. Istanbul is not safe for those who seek liberty, he told me seriously. I am escaping to Beirut tonight by hot air balloon. The pilot is sympathetic to our cause. You would be welcome to join us, sister. I asked him how long the journey would take, and he nodded. 2 or 3 days, I think, depending on the winds. I promised him I would consider it before taking my leave. Okay, so we got another potential place, Beirut there. All right, let's go to the market. All right, so we have a dusty road set. That would wait, what other part is the dusty road set? Oh, it's the windscarf. We don't really need this anymore. We could buy another suitcase to put more stuff in. I think we should buy another suitcase. Let's buy some more driving goggles. Why not? Air sickness pills. £1. Sure. A railway whistle. For no money. Okay. And a Southern Hemisphere timetable. That seems like a good thing. Yeah, let's do that too. Let's just buy all the things. So that gives us new routes. I feel like I hope we don't die of dysentery. You know, that would suck. Well, there's a big old route there. Okay, I think let's see what our departure options are. I feel like we're right here, right? No, we're not here. So this seems like a good route here. Like, this gets us pretty far. It departs in 2 days. But if we could get down here, you know, we've got. If we could get over down here, we could like really. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. I think we might want to go there. Because this one gets us next. Well, this is next Thursday, so this is a long trip. This is a very, very long trip. And it departs in 2 days. We could also go here, which arrives on Wednesday. And we can leave now, but it's gonna cost us a lot of it's gonna cost us a lot of health. I don't think we're gonna take that way. I think we're not gonna do that. I think we're going to wait. With what remained of the day, I did some minor alterations to our clothing to ensure that everything was ship-shape for our inevitable departure. Okay, let's check out the path here. How much? Man, for 220, yeah, let's do it. Alright, we're gonna lose some health on this one. But that's fine. That's fine. A gigantic horse reared from the prow of the Istanbul Tyran Express, billowing gouts of steam from his nostrils. Distinctly Ottoman in design, but where even the most luxurious European trains sacrifice weight for efficiency, it was a matter of some pride that the Khmer Taj's engines used a carefully guarded new Parisian design, supposedly capable of achieving a top speed of 75 miles per hour. Truly, we live in an age of wonder, unimaginable to our ancestors. Ever since I came into Mr. Fogg's employ, I've experienced more than my share of marvels. And as the Khmer Taj pulled out of the station, I resolved to savor each and every one. I am now courageous. You're quite the flamboyant type, I see. Alright, let's see. Dozens arrested in constitutional riots. Okay. What's this button do? Oh, the first day was short because of our evening departure, so we had just about enough time to secure a compartment and observe our fellow passengers. A quick-set janistry of the Turkish guard and a striking red-headed woman who traveled without a veil. Both were settled in their seats, eyes closed, and so did not appear open to conversation. Thus I let them be. I'm not going to pick their pockets. And rested myself. Oh, we're losing health. We're losing health. Here goes our health. With another long day of foggish calm beckoning, I fell into a conversation with the unveiled red-headed woman, eager to talk of engines and gauges and driver diameters. She told me her name was Kasina Petrovna Volkova, and asked her how she knew so much about locomotives. Oh, I am a scholar of many things, she smiled evasively, and then gave me a challenging look. Do you truly believe the Persians have a revolutionary new engine? I think they would like us to believe in it, I said thoughtfully. It all seems very political, does it not? She lifted one eyebrow. Everything is political, she told me seriously, before she deliberately shifted conversation to a lighter matter. Curious. Curious. Indeed. What's this? Oh, I don't know. We don't have the button anymore. It stopped for 5 hours at the Iranian border while various uniformed inspectors scrutinized our papers and peered into our faces. Intriguingly, she was nowhere to be found. during this bureaucratic inspection, and only reappeared in our compartment as the Khmer Taj started pulling away beyond the border station. Interesting. We're losing health. We're losing health. I kept watch on Cassina, who excused herself to go into the conveniences after a look at her pocket watch. I followed her. Despite Mr. Fogg's raised eyebrow, my curiosity, I admit, overrode my politeness, I guess, but mere day. When I arrived, the conveniences were empty. My suspicions confirmed. I went searching. The Khmer Taj was bristling with uniformed officers who grew more unfriendly as I approached the front of the train. Two taciturn fellows blocked the entrance to the engine car, no doubt guarding the secret new design from prying eyes. Just then I saw a flash of red outside, and hurried to the window. To my shock, she was hanging from the side of the train. She looked up at me through wind goggles and lifted an arm to wave, and I saw her hand was covered in a twisted metal gauntlet covered in rubber suction cups, much like those on a squid. As I watched, she determinedly began to sucker her way towards the engine car. I was confounded, but impressed by her mad daring, and I stumbled back to my compartment in a daze. It was at least an hour before she appeared, cheeks ruddy, but otherwise not a hair out of place. "Madam," I suggested calmly, "do you like squid?" "I adore calamari," she agreed without the slightest hesitation. I was starting to believe I had imagined the whole adventure until she added, particularly the tentacles, with those ingenious suckers. Monsieur Fogg looked baffled by the conversational turn, but we exchanged barbed repartee until, all too soon, the Khmer Taj pulled into the Tehran station. Unsurprisingly, perhaps, the red-haired adventuress had disappeared by the time I gathered up our bags. But by then, I was too entranced by the sights and smells of the ancient city, capital of the kingdom of Iran. Relations with Fogg have deteriorated slightly. I don't know why, but okay if you say so. But we made it. We made it. It's day 11, and we're in Tehran. Let's go to the market. Check out the market real quick. Ooh. An evening jacket. Don't we already have an evening jacket? Oh no, we left our evening jacket. Is anything here like valuable? No. Okay. Let's buy that. Why not? Our completed railwayman's uniform should help us negotiate times of train journeys. Okay, well that's good. Let's hit plan. Let's see what we got. So this arrives Thursday. Ooh. We can for no charge have the departure be 2 days from now. Yes, please. Let's do that. So in 2 days, this will depart and will arrive on Thursday. Okay. So let's go to let's explore. Let's see if we find anything. To say the capital of the empire's modern would be to defy the unparalleled glory of its ancient monuments and palaces. Yet, copper-bodied birds sang from the branches of the trees, while spare workaday iron automata harvested cotton from the fields outside the city. Could I do it in a slightly more sassy voice? The Qajar Shas ruled over an empire almost constantly at war, but the recent alliance with the Ottoman Sublime Porte had allowed the city to prosper despite border disputes with Russia and British India. The city is a garden of culture and art. From the skirmishes among its borders, I sat in the cafes with poets as they dueled each other with words and competed for patronage. Okay. Well, we're gonna definitely take this route to Kabul. We can make it depart tomorrow. Look at that. Wow. We negotiated some more. Let's see. Can we? Okay, tomorrow I think we have to. I think that's it. Let's go to sleep now. I wandered the streets once more. The poets I sought out engineers and found them in the cafes drinking heavily sweetened coffee. I don't like my coffee sweetened for the most part, and racing their inventions across tabletops. I sat with the shard engravers or we'll talk to the metal forgers. Why not? Who else here drinks coffee? Are there any coffee drinkers in chat? And how do you like your coffee? I spoke to the metal forgers, an older woman whose muscular arms bulged. The older you like it black, so do I. I usually drink my coffee black. The other artificers call us mere blacksmiths, she said, waving her burned, spotted hands. But could they make their wondrous devices if we didn't first hammer out their copper sheets and spin their wires? It is fine work, I remarked. The finest. A middle-aged fellow by the name of Rafik remarked, in other cultures, a copper lily would be enough for an artificer to complete their education, but we all apprentice to other guilds and craftsmen. To truly make automata, we must be jewelers, architects, shipwrights, cobblers, doctors, dancers. I met an artificer who wanted to make a chef. Just so. Though we have had those here in Persia for many years now, of course. You have not shared that secret? He shrugged. We make civilized men out of you. We'll make civilized men out of you Europeans yet. He flashed a grin, making the sting out of his words. Taking the sting out of his words, and he clinked our coffee glasses together. Or one sugar and one cream if I'm out. Oh, I don't usually like my coffee sweetened, although if it's cold, I like cold brew coffee, I will sweeten it sometimes, but hot coffee, I don't really like to be sweetened. Someone further in called out, to the Shahenshah. And we all raised our cups, and someone added, "May he live forever under the watchful eye of the Prime Minister," and everyone laughed. It is an abiding memory of Tehran, a room full of men and women in a hazy light, a place where people can be both right and humane at the same time, a rare thing in this world of ours. It is a city, I am sure, that will stand forever. All right, now we're going to depart. So we can take this now. We're gonna have to pay extra for our suitcases, and we're gonna have to hire more luggage space, which is fine. Oh yeah, that's true. Just like Starbucks. Starbucks has the worst coffee, like pure coffee. Since they use their coffee to make drinks, I think they make it super duper strong. I have to have cream in that to even be able to drink it. The Khmer Taj has extended its route, and it will now run from Istanbul through the Persian Empire, and all the way to the British frontier city of Kabul. I was glad to be leaving Tehran, mainly because a glorious city, but one quite strange to my sensibilities, and besides, we had a wager to win. Still, the Khmer Taj left us in no doubt that we were leaving. Its engines fired, and we rocketed away along the rails. I do hope we're not spending too much. That money has to last all the way around. We're spending too much. We brushed his mustache and healed his health. Good for us. One of the Armenian porters nudged his friend and muttered something uncomplimentary as he watched me struggle to load our things into the luggage car. I focused upon my task, but they continued to stare at me in discourteous fashion. "You look very strange for a servant," said the Armenian fellow, whose name turned out to be Abenjane. I looked the man level in the eye. "Well, I am a strange sort of servant." "Well, I am a strange sort of servant," I admitted, thinking on the unconventional services I had performed for my master since he had departed London. They only laughed pityingly in response. Monsieur Aubigny tucked a purple lambswool pashmina around my neck. "Perhaps this will help," he said, rather hopelessly. I stroked the soft fabric as I returned to my compartment. Monsieur Fogg made no comment, distracted by the whistles and shouts which marked our departure from Tehran. I woke to the gentle rumble of the train and dressed quickly, deciding to fold my scarf into my pocket as a sort of lucky charm. That is not to say, my friends, that I am a superstitious man, but a well-meant gift is not a thing to be taken lightly. Monsieur Fogg saw it peeking out and raised an eyebrow. "Very vibrant," he remarked. "It was a gift," I said with a smile. "You do," he said dryly, "have a great facility for making friends." Do I catch a wistfulness in his tone? That thought shocked me. Did my cold-blooded master wish himself to be more gregarious? I could scarcely credit it. "I think it is a skill you should also learn," I said cautiously. "If you wished, monsieur." Was his only reply, before he turned away and fixed his attention on the passing scenery until the Khmer Taj pulled into Herat on the border of the Persian Empire and the frontier of British Indian colonial lands. Okay, so we make it past there. Let's wait. Phileas Fogg attempts a round-the-world adventure. Hey, we're in the newspapers! We did it! All right. We're famous. We're famous. Well, we're not famous. He's famous. We had our papers inspected by the Persian customs officer with a pair of magnificently extended spectacles made of polished brass, not grass, and engraved with Farsi script along the arms. He inspected our documents while turning a small lever behind his ears. A pair of smoked glass lenses slipped over the clear ones, and he inspected our documents once more. "You are widely traveled," he remarked. "We are curious people." I smiled brightly. The customs officer looked at Monsieur Fogg with frank speculation, no doubt, failing to see any sign of burning curiosity. Well, oh well, it is none of my business, the official remarked. Your papers are in order. Good luck with your travels. We repeated much of the same experience with the British customs official a few hours later, and we arrived at Kabul thoroughly inspected and officially stamped. We've been stamped. Some of our possessions would sell efficiently here. All right, let's see what you mean by that. What would sell efficiently? What would sell efficiently? I'm not quite sure what you mean. No. This 90. I'm not sure what would sell efficiently. $58. I don't see anything that sells efficiently. What's our wine worth? 98. I don't want 98. Oh, 250. That's not bad. Yeah, we'll sell that. I think that's a good sell. A hand-woven carpet, field glasses, a wallet. I mean, that was $250. That was not bad. I think that's all we're gonna sell. Okay. And now we're gonna explore. What's the bank do? I don't know what the bank does. What does going to the bank do? I'm kind of curious. As we explored the city, we were rather unceremoniously seized by a score of British infantry and marched along the walls of Kabul, up the mountain ridge into the fortress of Bala Hissar. Monsieur Fogg protested our treatment, and I joined my voice to his. Through my outraged tones rather unmatched his calm ones. We were presented to a small, bespectacled gentleman in a palatal office, which looked rather more like a court, despite the piles of books and surveillance equipment littering the floor. He gave us a glance over his spectacle rims. I am Mr. Smith, second assistant political officer to the British mission here. I do not have the pleasure of your acquaintance. I glanced at my master, who straightened his cuffs, but otherwise looked as though he might have been out of a mid-morning stroll and had wandered by merest happenstance into an Afghan palace fort. I am Mr. Phileas Fogg, and this is my valet. I am a subject of Her Majesty, and passing through Kabul with no small urgency. Urgency? The political officer's eyes flashed behind his lens. Pray expand a little upon the nature of this urgency, Mr. Fogg. I did not like his tone. He had the measure of my cool-eyed master. That much was certain. Monsieur Fogg was not used to being on the other side of the interrogation table, and I watched Monsieur Smith closely as Monsieur Fogg explained his wager and our resultant breakneck trip around the world. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I could see Smith growing more astonished with each word. Finally, he took his glasses and tapped them on the table. Were you Russian or Persian spies? He said musingly. You would have a more plausible story. I could not, in all honesty, disagree. My master's ongoing willingness to risk life, limb, and valet for a bet seemed to me the height of nonsense. I fear I did not keep my thoughts from my face either, as I saw Monsieur Fogg cold glance in my direction. Monsieur Smith's eyebrow raised in an eerie mirroring of my master's expression, and then he cleared his throat. Friend of mine is traveling to Omsk. I'd consider it a great favor if you accompanied her. Omsk is quite far. Yes, but at Omsk you can catch the Trans-Siberian Express all the way to Urix, or change at Karimska for Beijing, he explained. Think on it. He dismissed us and returned to his papers without a second glance. Quite a commanding fellow for a mere second assistant political officer. Relations with Fogg have deteriorated. What? Why? I don't understand. Ooh, that seems like a good route. It's a long one, but it seems like a good one. Like, I mean, we have two options. We can go, if we go over here, we can get there. It seems pretty good. I think we're gonna do it. It would be an airship. It departs tomorrow at 5. I think we're gonna do it. So let's as night fell, something fell. So I don't know if you heard that. It's going good. It's going good. I afforded my master every service. I spent a few hours polishing shoes in the lobby. Well, sure, why not? Your funds have gone up by a fair amount. Did we win? Or, I mean, did we gain money? Okay. Did we win? Okay, we're gonna take this route. I don't like the our pocket altimeter gives us +5 to health. That's good. So we're actually in an airship now. We met the friend of Monsieur Smith, Her Majesty's second assistant political officer in Kabul, at the airship dock. She was wearing a daring red dress, cut in the Italian style, draped over a mink coat, lined in satin. I greeted her with a bow, and she swept her eyes over Monsieur Fogg and myself before inclining her head. "Where did Smith dig you two up?" she asked rhetorically, in the plumy tones of an English aristocrat. "Never mind. I'm Lady Sybil." With that, she swept away, leaving me to manage both our bags and her own assortment of traveling cases. We barely had time to settle into our cabin before the little airship jolted into the air. Further evidence of the German Empire's heavy investment in Afghanistan's infrastructure. Thank you, your attentions are most beneficial. The first day's travel was quiet enough. Drifting idly across mountaintops, I watched the scenery floating past, deep valleys and impossible slopes punctuated by even more impossible villages and the occasional remote monastery. People, it appeared, were capable of getting anywhere, even into a boat that sailed through the clouds. Night fell, and stars lit up the sky. Lady Sybil joined me in looking at them, pointing up at one. "The dolphin," she remarked. "It's the only constellation I know." "And why is that, madam?" Or, "Surely you know the Great Bear." "Surely you know the Great Bear," I replied, tracing its form with a finger. She shook head. No, I don't, she replied, but I am sure I will get to know the bear intimately soon enough. With that cryptic remark, she left me. That is kind of a cryptic remark. We were boarded by half a dozen Imperial Russian custom inspectors a few hundred miles into their airspace. Lady Sybil came to me as they checked the pilot's papers. Someone tipped them off. They were watching for me. She searched my face. Tell them that I have traveled with you from London. So you are a spy? She gave me a pitying look. I didn't take pains to hide it. Smith trusted you. I am in Her Majesty's service, and my mission is vital. Please. Why not ask my master? I asked suspiciously. He can contradict your story as easily as I. She shrugged. Fogg? He is a man afflicted by a deep sense of gallantry. He will lie for me. It is you whom I must convince. You think I am not gallant? I admit I was somewhat offended. Please, she began, reaching out a hand toward me. There was a knock at the door. I considered Lady Sybil. Who was this woman? Was her mission true, or was it another lie? Lady Sybil shot me a last desperate look before the customs inspectors brought in Monsieur Fogg and began their interrogation through a translator. Finally, the question came, do you know this woman? I stepped forward. I waited for Monsieur Fogg to answer. He nodded once, sharply, and said nothing. I elbowed him to speak further, or I leapt in myself. Know her? I practically raised her. She is our companion. We have traveled together from London in pursuit of my master's wager. The officials gave Lady Sybil a bit of a leer, drawing her own sordid conclusions about her position in our company. I waited out their indecision. But it was Monsieur Fogg who ruined the whole thing. This lady is under our protection, he blurted out foolishly. Protection from what? Demanded the inspector. Thieves? Thieves! Thieves, I declared. The officials shook their head. I believe we may know exactly the danger she is in. Come with us. Lady Sybil shot me a look of purest loathing that shattered into fear as the customs officials seized her and dragged her away over my master's protests. We were invited to come aboard their ship for the rest of the journey and thought it prudent to accept. Relations with Fogg deteriorated slightly. Okay, I mean, Fogg, you're the one that screwed that up. So, oh no! We're going the wrong way! No! We're going the wrong way. We are going the wrong way. This is not good. We're going way the wrong way. The Russian Zeppelin was a Tilskovsky design, slow and ornate and weighed down by a brace of cannon. Captain Radzensky had used the shipboard wireless to check our credentials with various customs stations. We had passed muster, and so we were cleared and treated with genial indifference. My master, however, was not so sanguine. It seemed clear that guilt weighed heavily on his mind. Yeah, man. What the heck? What the heck, man? You kind of screwed us over here. I don't think we're gonna hit Berlin, so should we sell the wine here? Yeah, I think we should sell the wine here. We could get a top hat. That's awesome. I think that completes a set too, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. A cold compress, that seems good. A false passport. A salve? A false passport seems like it could be good. Yeah, let's get that. Oh, and we can buy one more thing. Let's buy the cold compress. That seems good. Okay, there we go. Let's do that. Oh, we can put this in this suitcase, and then we don't need that other suitcase. Well, this is very... This didn't work out well for us. I'm gonna say that. Okay, we can leave tomorrow. It's gonna take a lot of health issues, but I think we'll be fine. 42. That's pretty bad. We're gonna stay in a hotel for a day, and then we're gonna leave tomorrow. Moscow was not a comfortable city for a Frenchman. A local composer had just written a piece people were calling the 1812 Overture, commemorating the Russian victory over Napoleon's invading Grand Army in the fateful year. Patriotic passions were at fever pitch. What is the heck is this army thing? ARMEE. But it did not let that stop me for exploring the city, though I resolved to affect an English. How many tacos have you accumulated? I don't know. You get 10 every 5 minutes. Affect an English accent in the style of Monsieur Fogg should I encounter anyone. I am not ashamed to admit that I had been practicing the very skill for some time, though. It must be said, not in the vicinity of my master. I traversed the city on foot, keeping out of sight of the patrols of the uniformed policemen and the troops mounted on black mechanical steeds. I ventured away from the wide boulevards and the eclectic architecture towards the outdoor markets. They were full of apple-cheeked young boys and wrapped-up peasant women. I found myself drawn to one particular stall, selling which seemed plain at the surface, but had a variety of special merchandise for a discerning customer, including a magnificent bottle of Chateau. I purchased it for £50. Yeah, why not? Expensive, but sure to be worth the price. As the bells of the nearby church chimed the hour, I returned to our hotel, content. We can leave now. We are definitely going to leave. We're going here. Oh my god. We're gonna have to get... I think we're gonna have to get rid of something. Let's get rid of this thing. Move this over here. There we go. We're good. Okay, this is gonna hurt our health a lot. The bell in the stuccoed and whitewashed Moscow station gave its third and final clang, and the platform erupted into a frenzy. We boarded calmly, to find ourselves in a small cabin with heated water and even a shaving mirror. Our cash reserves seem to be running low. Yes, they are. Agent Sybil captured. French double agent brain for operatives lost. Well, that's bad. I'm going to call that bad. We were away. I was affixed to the window the first day. I familiarized myself with the train's layout. The first two carriages were heavily guarded, prison cars, and the fourth within fourth class, then third, and so on, with amenities scattered between passenger cars. The candlelit chapel was presided over by a long-bearded Orthodox priest and full of the pious, and was positioned near the crew's quarters. I spent an hour listening to their murmured chanting and felt quite reassured. My bed that night swayed along with the motion of the train. We had several more days of this journey through the middle of nowhere at all. Has anybody, like, slept on a train before? Like, been on a train in a car and slept on a train? I've never actually, that's something I've never done before. Our fellow passengers were a mix of convicts, political radicals, prospectors, businessmen, and military officers. In the midst of this was a young lady, Rosa, moderately dressed in a rich military-style jacket and fur. You've slept in a seat on a train? I may have done that, but I've never been in, like, a train car. I ignored her. She was having some kind of affair, and I did not wish to involve myself in any potential complications. We crossed the Volga in the early afternoon. It was a muddy, sluggish river. It was a muddy, sluggish river clogged with floating islands and rafts. We're now zestful. We're losing health. Like, let's groom Fogg and make him feel a little bit better. We crossed the Urals today. At the risk of sounding like a jaded traveler, I must admit that they are hardly magnificent. A heaving up of earth and forested hills for a few hundred miles. We stopped for an hour at Eckenberg, where I joined the lively cavalry officers as they ate smoked fish and played music to accompany the repast. One of them enjoined me to play his balalak, a kind of triangular mandolin. I accepted eagerly and strummed a few notes to familiarize myself with the unaccustomed instrument. Once happy with its function, I played a familiar favorite. A song about a musical fellow called Herman von Bello, who was possessed of a rather sizable cello. Our choruses of yips and ahs rather alarmed some of our fellow diners, and I was treated to some colorful vocal lyrical variations which cast a new light on Herr von Bello's prodigious talents. The officers were so pleased by my performance that they very generously made me a gift of that very same balalaka. I can't wait to play it for Monsieur Fogg. We don't have space for it. San Francisco. Wow. Are we going to get to San Francisco? Coastline to coastline is a 72-hour ride. I think that would be fun. I think it would be. I don't know if it would actually be. Time on board trains takes on a meditative quality. I visited the library car and met Guland, the daughter of a Mongol chieftain who was poring over a thick volume of algebra. I lamented my lack of mathematical skill aloud, and she laughed. I must study algebra if I am to be an engineer in the Imperial Army of Russia. I wish to leave behind my ancestors' warriors' past. It is a new world, I observed. We may remake ourselves as we like. She laughed, delighted. Just so. She folded the book closed. You have traveled, monsieur. They call us barbarians, don't they? She asked. I felt sorry for her and wanted to soften the truth. Who are they, and what do they matter? I demanded, with fine rhetoric and spirit. Your life is yours. She leaned forward, eyes shining. The truth is, there is more going on in my country than most outsiders know. We are growing fast as a people. What do you mean? This is the age of progress. she said, tapping her books, of systems and of thermodynamics, and my people, we have discovered some very interesting things. I was intrigued and leant forward to hear her, but the girl shook her head. I won't tell you, she said and laughed. I will show you tomorrow night on deck. I will be there, I nodded. We conversed until supper, and she presented me with her family's slood, a Mongolian horsetail banner. I do not have any need of my past where I am going. You have it. Do with it what you will. That would fetch a good price in Yokohama should we decide to sell it. I'm glad that Fogg is just like saying, ooh, ooh, that would fetch a good price in this place. Ooh, that would fetch a good price in this place. We probably are going to need to sell some stuff, though. We arrived in Omsk today and stepped off the train in the company of a full score of British, Dutch, and German merchants with military officers taking their places. As the door closed, I caught sight of Golan, who seemed surprised to see me on the platform. She made as if to call someone out, but then the door slammed and the train was away down the track. Oh, how hard it can be to wonder what might have been. The cases felt light compared to the weight of my heart. The weight of my heart. Okay. I don't know what I was expecting. The Chateau wine could sell handsomely here. Well, thank you for telling me exactly what. So even though we weren't allowed to take 5 suitcases on that, we actually had 5 suitcases and we're allowed to take stuff. So I think that's interesting. This 170, yeah, okay, we'll sell it. I mean, we need the money, right? We got that. That'll sell good in San Francisco, and that'll sell good in Yokohama, which I think we're getting somewhat close to. We got some money, so that's good. Let's check our I think we want to go here. Where is Yokohama's right here? So let's go. Let's see what we can do going here. Oh man. Where are we? Oh my gosh, that is expensive. Look at the cost of that. Oh, we don't have that kind of cash. I think we're gonna have to explore to find some other options. We don't have that kind of that kind of money. Let's wait until morning and see what happens. There's only one hotel on a large square. We found our room and warmed up. To a roaring log fire built disconcertingly from the same cut logs as the walls, floor, and furniture of the room and the building itself. Okay. So I think we should explore because I think we need to find other routes. Well, we found a way back to Kabul, I guess. It's the most important stop of the line between Moscow and... We weren't told how expensive this route was going to be. Like, the source of importance... The town was presumably of religious importance, since the place was stuffed full of Orthodox churches the way a 6th-class car is stuffed with pickpockets. Okay, I'm going to go to the market and see what we can do here. A hammer. A Western Star. Ooh. And whatever that is. I don't think we need anything here. Can we sell? I don't think we can sell anything either. $93, $34, $4. No, we're not going to sell anything. We're going to go to the bank. We must visit the bank. Do you have additional funds? I am a gentleman. They would extend me credit if required. But do you suppose I put an entire fortune into a carpet bag under our supervision? Of course. I regarded the bank as we entered. It was a small affair, but efficiently looked after. Do you withdraw funds? We were told. I warn you, it will take some time. Oh, so we can withdraw $4,000 in a week. All right, let's do it. 4,000 pounds. Return to the bank on Wednesday to collect your funds. So we have to wait till Wednesday. Okay. We can do that. Oh man, that's 7 days. All right, that's fine. We had another 6 days to wait. So we made ourselves comfortable and waited. We're just gonna wait. But relations with Fogg has improved slightly. Okay. He's okay with that. Our funds will be ready to collect when the bank opens. Tapping the clock will skip time forwards. Oh, well, thanks. Thanks for that. The bank's open. Funds are ready. There, we got some money. So apparently money costs time. Money costs time in this game. Okay, so we're going to depart. We want to go here. I'm going to go here. Okay, we got to get rid of something. Let's get rid of this thing. I don't want it. And let's get rid of, I don't know. Something else. I guess that. Oh wait, we didn't have to get rid of that. Ah, we could have put it over there. Darn it. We had space. Oh. Ah, no. 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 This is hard. Inventory management is hard. I wasn't told we'd have to do inventory management. Put it in there. Put it in there. Okay. I'm getting a little frustrated with this inventory crap. There. There. Okay. Cool. Dang it! Did I miss the damn train? Because it made me do inventory management? Boo. Boo, boo, boo. That sucks. I missed the train because I had to do inventory management. Alright, fine. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to leave. Okay. We want to go here. We want to go. Okay. Since we already paid for our luggage stuff, they didn't make us repay. That's good. We reboarded the Trans-Siberian Express and settled into our seats. We're going to wait. Osk Independence hopes dashed. The lines are thick here, and other trains pass ours frequently. Some are filled with settlers, and others with soldiers packed into 5th and 6th class cars so closely that I wonder if they can even breathe. I stopped watching after seeing a fight break out, and they fought listlessly, as if their fights were more a result of too much closeness and boredom than any true antagonism. It chilled me. Okay, we're taking health damage. Ooh. We can groom him. We crossed the halfway mark of our journey today. In the morning, we wound up in the Angara Valley towards the mining camp of Irkutsk, the great city of Siberia. Here, where some passengers were leaving to join the route south of Mongolia. We waited. Why anyone would travel in that direction, I could not fathom. The Russian wilderness was desolate, but at least the train was fast. I want to get to San Francisco because I want to see if I can sell that thing. I want to at least sell one of the things. Our journey continued, and by the afternoon, we had reached the magnificent expanse of Lake Baikal, as clear as the finest crystal, bounded by flower-banked cliffs on the western shore and containing a thriving, raucous population of freshwater seals. The track ended at the lake's edge, but the great train showed no signs of slowing or stopping. I began to feel, as my master would say, a little perturbed. Now, my friends, this next sentence will seem to you the invention of a madman, but I assure you it is utter, untarnished truth. We drove straight from the shore into the clear water of the lake, causing barely a ripple. I looked out of the compartment window and saw the wheels pulled up, and zut alors, the train was hovering in the air through some unseen mechanism. I stayed in our carriage in the hold for the duration of the crossing, and had the singularly odd misfortune of experiencing seasickness in the locomotive. From the window I watched families working at their fields, dressed in colors bright as harlequins, red and blue, and bright bandanas which they pulled off to wave at the train. People are wonderful. They live somewhere bleak and then make themselves colorful instead. Okay, we're gonna do that. A fresh shirt. Superb. So apparently this kind of has to do with his, like, how happy he is, too. There was little to report on the outside world, so the word today on the Russian eating habits, more specifically the Russian distaste for regular meal times. I met a fellow Frenchman today, and he said, the Russian meal is a guide to the Russian character. I made a jest about the tastelessness, but he demurred. No, it is not that Russian has no taste. He sacrifices his finer susceptibilities to his love of freedom. I resolved to keep this thought in my mind in future approaches to the dining car. If our locomotive suppers are not triumphs of culinary art, they at least signal examples of logistical achievement. Okay. We're almost there. We pulled in to Karamsakara at the evening. Karamsakara, it was possible to branch into the Chinese Eastern Railroad to Beijing, so we departed in the platform, disembarked on the platform. We hurried to find lodgings, knowing that once the evening fell, it would become bitterly, miserably cold. The scarf would sell handsomely here. Okay, let's do that. 180. That's not bad. All right, we'll sell it. Iron ore, valuable in San Francisco. I think we're gonna buy this because my plan is to sell the other thing in San Francisco. So we might as well buy that.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Hey, Kim Craft. How's it going? How's everybody doing? We are playing some we're playing some 80 days, or we're trying to get around the world in 80 days. How long? That arrives next Tuesday. Wait, we have to wait 4 days? Okay. I think doing multiple things at the same time, it might be the way to do this game. Let's explore. We might as well. It might give us alternate routes. It didn't give us anything. Let's plan again, see if maybe we can save more time. Now we can go in 2 days. All right. How was your stream? Did you have a good stream, Kim Craft? Yeah, this is a game from 2014, an adventure title that we're trying to go around the world in 80 days. Just kind of a steampunk inspired type game thing. So very interesting. You were playing Quest for Glory. That is awesome. That's a good game. Were you playing the EGA or the VGA version? There's no moon and not even a barking dog. The only lit building bore the VGA version. Okay, cool. How are you getting on with that game? I knocked at the back door. I wished only to sleep. Sure, why not? A dwarf with a long black hair, robed lips, and thick brass goggles opened the door. I bowed and introduced myself as a foreigner. Welcome, come in and out of the cold then. I am Nadezyada Yefimova. He walked around with this corridor in a round room lit with bright electrical lamps. The artificers sprawled on low sofas and greeted me with a beery enthusiasm. A human form automaton ushered me to a seat and handed me a drink. I accepted the gift, or the drink, with a grin, and the small gears in the automaton's face whirled to produce an answering smile. The hours passed quickly in good company, and we shared many outlandish tales. It gives you the warm fuzzies. The last time you played it was when you were 13. Lots of memories. I can understand that. I also played those way back in the day. I think I played the VGA version, but I really like... I don't know why. I like text parsers in graphical adventure games. I feel like they give you... they just give you more options for silliness, I guess. I complimented her hospitality, and Nadezyada clapped me on the arm. It has been a pleasure sharing our fire with you. She reached into her pocket and took out a copper medallion with the Artificers lily stamped on it. Take this, present it to any member of the Artificers Guild, and they will be bound to offer you help. Yes, that is good. I thanked them for their generosity and wended my way back to the dark streets, a city lit only by the brightness of the stars and the pale, ethereal glow of the northern lights. Okay. Can we depart now? Tomorrow. Yes! We can have it depart at noon. Let's do it. Heck yeah! Let's hire some extra space. Let's go. Let's go. We're going. We're day 36. We're almost halfway through our 80 days. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. The EGA version was the one you had. This is the first time playing the VGA one. Cool. I think the VGA version and the EGA version, I think they did a really good job with the VGA version. Interestingly enough, they did the VGA version like pretty much at the same time that they were making the third one. So the third one and the VGA version of the first one were all very, very similar from an engine standpoint. And I'm guessing they probably shared some art assets as well. But I was glad to be moving on. At least we soon be free of this bleak country. All right, we're gonna. We gotta up his health. It was a dark corner of the world, and though the ice touched windows, we could see that already winter is moving in. Man, look at his health go. All right, we're gonna do that again. Oh. We reached Assyrians today. Vladivostok, the final destination, is accessible only to military officials and those with special dispensation. 200 pounds? I was not aware that we hide ourselves away in a candlelit chapel in hopes that we would not be discovered. Okay, apparently it succeeded. For now. Wait, what did I do? I think I did something. Here we go. We're going. We're going. We're going. I think we made it. We made it. We disembarked amongst the crowds of uniformed officers and soldiers. We had traveled over 5,500 miles across the spine of the Trans-Siberian, which covered 1/3 of the Earth's circumference. My nerves were jangled, but Monsieur Fogg had barely stepped into the platform before he was already plotting the next leg of our journey. I don't think we're going to make it. The false passport would earn us well. Okay, well, I guess we'll wait until the market opens. The port military looked out over the calm black water of the Sea of Japan. It was populated largely by sailors of the Far East Fleet and the mix of Chinese, Korean, and Russian residents. I was curious about the foreign residents and managed to chance upon Du Feng, a talkative Japanese or Chinese merchant who spoke a remarkable array of languages, including French. We are not foreigners, he exclaimed. Good sir, my family has lived in this place for many generations. Ha, Shin what? I stammered as he snorted with laughter. Oh, forget it. Most foreigners have this trouble, he said neutrally, and it was rather abashed. Ha Shinwei means sea cucumber cliffs. It is the Chinese name for this city, though it was once called Yongming Chang, City of Eternal Light. Sea cucumber cliffs is more sensible, I remarked. Ha! Sense is not everything. It is a shame, really. So much is lost with time. The thin evening light had begun to darken by the time I had made it back to my hotel, but my adventure here was far from over. An unimposing Imperial Army officer accosted me in a reception and subjected me to a thorough search. I gave no objection, and he studiously went through our cases and my pockets. He found nothing serious. It's a closed port. You'll be held while a decision is taken in your case. What? My God. I pleaded with him, but it may as well have begged the thunder not to roll, and it was that we came to spend 4 nights in jail. Oh. Dang it. Man, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this. We're gonna have to explore. See what we can do here. I think we're gonna go to Yokohama. I mean, that was my plan all along here. So we're going to Yokohama, on a ship apparently. That was my plan. My plan was to go to Yokohama. We avoided the Russian military ships and instead took passage on a Korean vessel crewed by a mix of Koreans, Mongolians, and Siberians who regarded Fogg with grave curiosity. I considered charging £1 to look at him. I might have made 20 pounds. I continued to goggle at my master in mild disbelief until we retreated below deck to the slightest furrows etching his brow. Okay, he's at 46. We need to deal with that situation. Yeah, we didn't actually charge 20 pounds. Which is like, yeah, I know, right? Can we make the day go by faster? For the first day aboard, we kept ourselves mostly to ourselves. The crew seemed busy with their tasks. I was happy to have fewer of those myself. Fogg was his usual impervious self, however, and made his calculations and read his newspaper. Meanwhile, the boat steamed onwards. And he's continuing to lose health. We will shine his shoes to make him feel a little bit better. One of the cabin girls, Alina, spoke good English and was attached to us as a translator, though she created as much conversation as she explicated. Do you know my parents? I doubt, since I have only just met you. My father is a Russian officer, maybe, I think, and Mama comes from a famous Cossack family. They're all soldiers. A Russian officer, maybe. Well, Mama met him when she was dressed as a man and joined the Cossack host. She was very surprised, I think. Mama says she died of shock, leaving me as a present, but I think he probably ran away because Mama is so fierce. She looked proud rather than distressed about this prospect. I bring down. That's nice, I hazarded. She nodded enthusiastically. Mama runs the boiler room. All the sailors are frightened of her. One day I will be like her. Lena made a mock fierce face, and I pretended to quake in terror until we both began laughing uproariously. More seriously, a friend of the boiler room was useful. Idly, but out loud, if I would be impossible to speed up our arrival to Yokohama. I will ask my mother. With that, she hurried away. Okay, here. We gotta up his health. His health is at 52. Alina knocked on my door unreasonably early in the morning. The price of arriving today, she informed in clear tones, is 800 pounds. If you cannot afford that, then you can boil your heads. Boiling our heads it is. I will bring you the water from the engine room. Yeah, we can't, I don't want to spend that much money. She laughed as I hung over the ship's railing to get a better view of Yokohama as we neared the port. She gave me a hug goodbye, which surprised me, though her mother watched me, and with hard eyes throughout the exchange. We weighed anchor as the sun set. Okay. So we can sell our, something. We had some... Yeah, apparently. We can sell... What can we sell? Something was worth money here. I don't remember what it was. Was it this?
It was your heart and soul.
What, do we not have it anymore? Oh no! I think that guy may have taken it. I think we may have gotten robbed. Yes. I thought we had something we could sell here, but I think it's gone now. Let's check out. Oh, we were already at the market. I don't know. I think we got robbed, or maybe we sold it earlier. I don't know. Let's explore, I guess. I want to go to San Francisco. That's all I know. Oh, there we go. It had been relatively recently opened to foreigners, and there was an entire foreigners district not far from the waterfront. There were several varieties of English to choose from. Well, as well, though Mr. Fogg would barely deign to include the nasal tongue of the American merchants. I noticed a Japanese man watching the scene with a look of intense concentration, scribing in a sketchbook. I leaned in for a look. He was drawing a stylized picture of foreign quarters with quick pen strokes, which stopped abruptly as if my shadow fell over the drawing. He looked up, clearly irritated. Do you mind? He said. He was clearly a temperamental sort, so I left him to his work with a polite smile. I do not think he liked foreigners from his drawing of them. All right, we're gonna plan. We want to take this route to San Francisco. We definitely want to do that. So it departs at 3 p.m. It costs 4,000. We don't have that money. Ah, man, we don't have the money to do that. Crap. Is there any way we can make it? I don't think we can. Ah, back here. The bank is closed. Oh. Well, we might be able. I mean, we can go to the bank and borrow more money, right? Oh, it's the weekend, so we're just gonna have to sleep for a while. We're just gonna attend to Fogg and improve his health, and then we're gonna go to the bank on Monday and see if we can borrow some money and see what happens. I wonder how much he bet. Yes, we're gonna get 4,000. And we're gonna wait. I don't know. Are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it? I don't know if we will. Okay, we got our money. And now we want to take... No, not... Oh, no! Is that route not even available now? Oh, no, it is. Okay. I was scared. The one route we wanted and it's not available. Oh, crap. It's going to be a while. For 3,000, we can make it... no, I'm just going to wait the 5 days. We're just gonna wait. 1, 2. I'm not gonna do anything at night. Let me make sure we're still, stop doing that, game. Okay. 3 days. Okay. Let's see if there's any different. Ooh, this is tough. This is tough. We're just gonna keep passing the night. It's day 60. We only have 20 days left. Oh, we're gonna... Yeah, we're gonna... I know. It's not gonna... I don't think we're gonna be able to do it. Our not having enough money hurt a lot. Like a lot. Okay. The Water Lily was sleek iron hull ship to submarines prototype captained by a severe American by the name of Wicker, who wore a top hat. At all times and preferred tea to coffee, which greatly endeared him to Monsieur Fogg. In addition to the usual complement, the Water Lily carried an entire corps of brass-goggled engineers and a brace of submariners to stand by should the captain call the order to submerge. The rumor was that she was a Confederate vessel, sold off to a private concern in a latter, more desperate stages of the Civil War, but I saw no trace of a dark past aboard. The crew seemed a happy family and welcomed us. Okay. Our funds are running low because this trip cost us 4,000 pounds, Fogg. I mean... Yeah, the Russians screwed us over really badly. That cost us a lot of time and a lot of money. Yeah, we bought a very expensive ticket. This was like a 4,000 pound ticket. The salty air blew cool and sharp against my face, and I opened the door in the top deck. I paid them no attention. I'm just minding my own damn business right now. I accompanied Mr. Fogg to a game of whist with a family of American missionaries who were traveling back to San Francisco for a family wedding. My master began strongly. But Mademoiselle Loretta, the eldest girl, had a sharp eye and won several hands in a row. A new round was dealt. I noticed Mademoiselle slip a card into her sleeve. I blinked twice in pure astonishment and glanced up at her face, which was utterly calm, betraying nothing of the action of her nimble fingers. The minister's daughter was a cheat, and a skilled one at that. I filed away the knowledge, for an opportune moment, catching her eye to convey that I had noticed her little sleight of hand. She blushed with all the manufactured prettiness of an accompanied actress, then raised one eyebrow in silent challenge. Cheater. I spent today in the company of Water Lily submariners. They were all hardy men and women who preferred the dim, enclosed spaces of the hold at the top decks. Too much sky, one of them said, squinting suspiciously. Her crewmate nodded. All that fresh air, they shuddered collectively, and suggested a bracing race to the boiler room. I offered an alternative. Having no great desire to sprint through the ill-lit, echoing ship's corridors, the commander, a short Japanese-American woman, gave me a look of scorn. What do you suggest? A test of acrobatic skill through the submarines were all fit as horses. They had never attempted it to, for instance, form a pyramid or walk the length of a corridor on their hands. They competed with me gamely, but admitted themselves outclassed. Commander Douglas even applauded. It's a zoomy to my friends. You're not so bad. Okay. I think we made a friend. Alright, we're gonna tend... I wanted to hit that button. I was climbing the rigging, as exercise, of course, and not at all for the purposes of spying on the crew to appease my own rapacious curiosity, when I heard two of the crewmen arguing in a pidgin mix of English and Japanese. I closed my eyes and listened. To only their voices. Only a few words were audible during the howling of the wind. Shrine, heathen, worship, before a sudden scream rent the air. One of the sailors has fallen from the platform's edge. I closed my eyes as he fell, but the sound of the body hitting the deck was much worse than any bloody sight. I looked up and managed to catch sight of the fallen sailor's companion, his face still and pallid. Was that guilt in his eyes or merely shock? He slipped away before the captain arrived. I followed his example. All was clearly not well amongst the crew of the Water Lily. And we're going. I don't think we're going to make it. The Water Lily's crew held a funeral for the dead sailor. I was not specifically invited, but was curious about the incident. The funeral was an excellent opportunity to learn more about the crew. Captain Wicker led the Christian service with the customary grimness. I was surprised by the absence of the sailor's companion, who had been arguing with him just before the fall. Yet he was not the only one missing from the funeral. Oddly, only half the crew had come to pay their respects. I suppose the death at sea was commonplace. The crew had too much work to do. Okay. So are these events, do the same events happen every time you play this game, or are they completely random? Storm, too exhausted to write a proper entry. Suffice to say, we are still afloat. As we settled down for the night, it was struck by an unrelated thought. Mr. Fogg, the dateline. I altered our watch already. Did you think I might forget? My master was, of course, correct. With an eye as his, it was unthinkable that he might miss such a detail. We had reached the point directly opposite of Greenwich. So we're only halfway there right now? Man. We're not going to make it. There's no way we make this. We're going to prepare shaving water. There's no way. So we're going to have to play it again. Is ultimately what's going to happen. We're going to have to play again. I mean, the goal is to succeed. Captain announced a change of destination. The Water Lily would now make for nearby Hawaii rather than... Oh no, we're getting diverted! This will not do. Indeed not, sir. Captain Whittaker has reneged upon his word as a gentleman. Our course is clear. We must mutiny. I'll agree with that. Initiative? Quite, he said in agreeableness. We will mutiny in 5 days when we reach... Okay, so we're going to mutiny. My task was clear. I was to form into mutiny aboard the Water Lily. I decided to begin by exploiting the crew's animosity towards one another, divide and conquer, or so dear Madman would always console. I considered inflaming their religious passions, though such passions were, by their nature, unpredictable. So I decided to gossip about the captain, planning to forcibly convert all the Shinto crew when we reached port. Some of the younger members seemed alarmed, but others merely laughed off the possibility. So I'd say that failed. It was with satisfaction that I noted a certain increase in tension aboard the Water Lily, a situation I would carefully have to exacerbate if my master's mutiny was to have any chance of success. Next, I attempted to the Chinese laborers, who were still rather storm-tossed and discombobulated. I managed to convince them to play dice with me and proceeded to lose deliberately to gain their favor in tune of £50. They were quite pleased at their newfound bounty, and combined with my grace in losing, seemed to make them look upon me with greater favor. And I lost £50. I had attempted to we've basically lost this game. I just want to point out we've lost this game. So it doesn't really matter what we do. There's no way we're going to be able to get there within 9 days. So I'm just kind of clicking buttons here and kind of letting us lose. Because I kind of feel like we're... Yeah, we'll gain a whole ship that we can sell, right? Now's the time. I assured him it was. He nodded. Let us hope. With that, the master retreated to his cabin and called the signal to arms. The water lily erupted into chaos. Everywhere was clashed with sabers and pistols. Now, when I heard the shriek of the officer's sonic weapons, but I was not alone. Half of the crew that followed the Shino creed fell in behind me, lit with a desire to teach their Christian crewmates a lesson rather than mutiny, but their anger helped stoke the fires of rebellion. The Chinese laborer rewarded my friendship with steadfast loyalty, throwing themselves into mutiny with all the desperation of men and women who utterly loathed sea travel and longed to revenge themselves upon the instrument of torment in any fashion. They lit fires and tore up the already ragged sails, causing welcome chaos. The submariners, led by Captain Davis, emerged quietly. There was a long, terrible moment when they wondered at their allegiance, when Captain Davis caught my eye and nodded. We know when it is time for change. And Lady Trip Up, the loyal officers, out of the corner of my eye, she tipped her bonnet in my direction. A gesture of respect from one player of the game to another. The whirl of the battle took me away, but not before I saw her falsify a magnificent feint and block the gangway to the navigation room. By noon, it was clear that all our efforts were for naught, however. The mutiny did not have the support and numbers required to defeat those who had maintained their loyalty. Captain Wicker and the other officers returned just in time to smother the last flames of rebellion. My master and I begged to be allowed to remain aboard. But the captain laughed. I may be a gentleman, but I am not a fool. It was only due to Captain Whitaker's good graces that we retained our luggage. Our mutinous comrades were all were not treated with such leniency and were thrown unceremoniously below. That was, Monsieur Fogg said with icy, as he stood up, rather badly done. Unfortunately, I could not disagree. Okay, well. I mean, we're going to stay in the hotel. Yeah, we're going to have to become pirates, apparently. Really? The iron ore will earn us well? Oh, it does. We can buy a gun. Okay. Some buffalo hide, a wax cylinder. Okay. We explore. So we're in Hawaii. Oh, okay, we're here. I was like, what? We were all the way... what happened? Okay. Okay, let's plan. Okay, so we can go from Honolulu here by Wednesday. So... yeah, well, there's no way we can make it. There is no way we can make it. It's a lost cause. We have to get back here. And we have 6 days to do it. So, I'm gonna have to... I'm planning for next time right now. So, I feel like one of the issues we had is we kind of went... well, our Russian... This hurt us a lot. This cost us time. A lot of time. So maybe don't do that next time. This costs us time too. because this is a big detour here. This is quite the big detour. I thought we were going to end up here like quite a time ago. And so we're going to have to think about this. Maybe going this way might be the better way to go, instead of going down here. I think this was a lot of wasted time. If you just think about it, we were going south and not east. So going this way might be the better way to go. Like going here to Moscow. I mean, just think about look at all the time we spent going all over here just to end up here. And, you know, that's not very... That's a pretty straightforward trip here. Yeah, I think we wasted just way too much time in this traveling right here. Like, this was a lot of time. Like, the only reason I went this way was because he asked me to, and I regret it now. We probably, if we would have gone this way, we would have come down here, over here, probably over here, down here, and then taken this over to Hawaii, then maybe over here to Acapulco. So I think we have multiple ways of travel. We have ship, and we have air, and we have land. So we can go by land, sea, or air. And yeah. But we're gonna abandon. I think we're gonna abandon this game. I mean, we could see. Yeah, we learned some strategies for the next attempt. So we're gonna be doing that on Monday. I think I'm gonna be done for today, because I think we should do the whole thing in one go. I don't think we should like... Apparently the game does autosave. This playthrough seed is in which... Okay, so there is a random seed as well that happens. So apparently a lot of these events are just completely random. So it is a lot like Oregon Trail in that way, where there's a lot of stuff is random. Okay, well that was fun. I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that, even though we failed. So we're gonna try it again.